How are you doing? My name is Heather and this is Nerdy Crafts by Heather, and today I am going to do a plush tour. I've had these in the background for the majority of my videos now, and I want to show them off. I started making plushies when I started crocheting. That was actually the whole reason why I started crocheting. I wanted to make, this little character Link from The Legend of Zelda, and I never ended up actually making him. Teaching myself how to crochet took a little bit longer than I expected to, and then the longer I crocheted, the harder it was for me. I was holding the hooks a little too tight, and just the motion, it was actually causing my wrist and my thumb to hurt. So I have actually stopped crocheting. I haven't crocheted a really long time, and then I started sewing plushies together, which is a lot easier and a lot faster as well. So let's get started. So these were the first ones that I made. So this is Luna and this is Artemis from the Sailor Moon series. I originally had done another Luna. It was my first one, and my stitches were not tight enough. You could see the stuffing in between, and I also didn't stuff it enough either, so its head ended up getting really flat and it looked really bad. So I made them again with trial and error, and I think they turned out really good. I'm very proud of them. I had gotten some safety eyes. The nose is just some yarn, and then the moons on their head is just some adhesive felt. So I thought it turned out really good. They got cute little tails, stuff. You can see where I was sewing the head on there. So they're not perfect, but they're a lot better than my first one. So very happy with how these turned out, and these were the ones that really got me started on making these plushies. So probably one of the next ones I made was actually this guy. So this is a Murloc from World of Warcraft, and he turned out really good. Surprisingly, it was very challenging because I didn't really know what I was doing with these little wormy dealies on top of his head and stuff, and his legs are not sewn on the best. I see I have some more of this extra yarn, so I might try to reattach the legs just to reinforce them, because they're not on the best. They're a little wobbly and stuff, but I was very happy. I made this for my husband. He is a huge World of Warcraft fan, and when I saw his pattern and I showed it to him, he's like, I have to have it. So I made him this cute little Murloc, and considering how little experience I had crocheting at the time, I am very happy with how this one turned out. Okay, so one of the next ones I made was these two little house elves. So they are based off of Harry Potter, and they are for me and my husband. I am a Hufflepuff, and my husband at the time said that he was a Gryffindor, which now he has changed his mind and said he's a Slytherin. So this doesn't quite fit him anymore, but I don't think I have any more of this yarn. So, okay, so one of the next ones that I decided to make was this one. This is Mimikyu. This is a Pokemon. I have done a lot of different Pokemon plushies, but this one is actually still one of my favorites, even though it's crocheted. I do think the sewn plushies do look better, but the fact that I was able to make this with just yarn was incredible to me. I was very happy with how it turned out. So this is actually a ghost Pokemon, and it is supposed to be like a costume, so that's why it's got like the little stitches on the cheeks and stuff, and the ghost is actually underneath the costume. Sticking with the Pokemon theme, this next one is Decidueye. I made this one for my husband. He was a big fan of that Pokemon. It kind of looks like an owl, and this is actually the shiny version of it. So in Pokemon, every Pokemon has a shiny version, which is a different color variation, and this one was his, and it just so happened that I had those colors of yarn, and they're really rare. Like, it's like 1 in like 4,000 chance roughly. So I decided to make him a shiny Decidueye. So he turned out really good. I love his little wings here and his little hood. He's got like a little feather on top, and he's very, very cute. So one of the plushies that I crocheted is a Mario mushroom. It turned out really good. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It's pretty basic, but I still think it's super cute and I like it a lot. So this next one I crocheted, so this is a bow truckle. This is from the Harry Potter series, and he is super cute. He's got these cute little like leaf ears, and if I would have had it at the time, I would have actually added wire to make them kind of like stand up a little bit more, but I didn't have wire at the time and stuff. But I think he is really adorable. I have also made this little slime. This is also a very basic shape, so this one was really easy to make, but I thought it was really cute. I love that color blue as well. Okay, the last one I have crocheted isn't necessarily a plush, but I still wanted to show this off. So this is a Deku mask. This is from The Legend of Zelda, and it is right size for a human and it does curve around to where you could wear it as a mask if you wanted to. I don't think it is quite sturdy enough if you like put a band around it or anything, but I was very proud of this one. I thought it turned out really, really good. And I normally keep a plate. I actually took a paper plate and made it fit in here to actually help it hold its shape up. That was the last of the crochet plushies that I made. So this was the very first one that I sewed, which was kind of a crazy story because I was watching YouTube videos and trying to figure out like, is this something that I would be able to do? 'Cause sewing wise, I'd only ever made like a quilt. I'd only done very like basic things. I hadn't sewed anything that was going to be like 3D and stuff. So I watched a video and they showed how they made this plush. So this is a Ditto, this is a Pokemon, and they showed how they just, because he's supposed to be kind of wobbly, kind of like jelly, I guess, in a way. And so I watched the video and I was like, I think I can do that. So I took a piece of paper, I just drew the squiggles. I somehow managed to get the bottom size correct. I have no idea. It was pure luck, honestly. And I sewed them together. His eyes and his mouth is just felt stitched on. And he turned out really good. I was very, very surprised. And like I said, I also got very lucky that all the measurements ended up working out the right way, because I did not go off. I made my own pattern for this. And so if you're wanting to make plushies, if I can do this out of no experience whatsoever, then you can get started as well. And a lot of my beginning plushies are in this blue and this gray color that you can see him in the back. These were the only two fabrics I had at the beginning, so the majority of my first plushies were in these colors. So my next plush that I made was actually this derpy little dino. And as you can see, he is not perfect. Because of my last one, the Ditto turned out so well, I was like, this is easy, I got this, no problem. And then I made him. He is uneven, so you can tell his feet are all out of whack, like that's how uneven he is. And I didn't put enough stuffing, so there's like dips in his face. So this was my first darts. I didn't do the darts well enough. and everything. So he is just this derpy little dino, but I love him so much, and especially compared to plushies that I have made later, I love seeing him because you can really see the difference on how far I've come since then. His face details are also, they are just felt, and they are sewed on. I believe I actually hand stitched them on, if you can kind of see that. So he's one of my favorites, even though he is definitely like one of the worst ones that I've done. So one of my next ones is this one. So this is a little dolphin, and it turned out really well. I was actually very happy with this one, that he didn't turn out derpy like the dino that I just showed you. And this is some of the gray fabric that I started with, the same felt eyes and everything. And the next ones I made is this cute little cat. I love the face. So a lot of these patterns that I have done, the sewn plushes that I've showed you, except for the first one I showed, which was the Ditto, were all by So de Soleil, or Coley Knight, I think is how you say her name. I could be wrong. A lot of these patterns are actually free, which is amazing. She does paid patterns as well on Etsy, which I have done a few of those, but I love her patterns. Her instructions are incredible, and I highly recommend you check out her patterns. I will leave them in the description below, and this was one of them. They have she made a few different like face choices. It's got the cute little tail, and I love this one. I think this one is really cute. Okay, one of the next ones that I made is this Totoro plush. I am a huge Studio Ghibli fan, and when I saw her pattern for this one, I couldn't resist. I was like, I have to make him. I am going to have to re-sew his ear on. It is slowly coming off here. These earlier plushes that on the parts, like the ears are hand sewn on and these arms are hand sewn on, I didn't reinforce them enough. You should stitch around them once, and then once you know that it's in the right place, you should stitch around it again just to reinforce it, and I didn't do this. So his ear is coming off over here, so I'm gonna have to redo that one, unfortunately. But other than that, he turned out great. I love his little chunky tail. All the little details actually turned out really good, because I had to sew the felt on for his mouth, his eyes. All these little details are all sewn on. I didn't have my embroidery machine at the time, so it was a lot of, it took a lot longer than it does now. So, but I was very happy with how Totoro came out. Alright, so this next one I bit off more than I can chew with this one. This pattern is still one of the most complicated patterns I have ever tried to do, but considering how like inexperienced I was at the time, this one actually came out really well. So this is another Pokemon. This one is Mew, and its shiny version is blue as well. So I got him put together, and the eyes are all felt, and it turned out really good, but it was still very difficult. I would like to remake this pattern, like remake this Pokemon now that I know a little bit more. Also, the tail, it does have wire in it, so it is bendable, but I wasn't using the right wire, and I also didn't anchor it enough, so it just flops when I should have had the wire kind of go up into the body a little bit more, so that way I could actually like position the tail. Instead it just it flops down and stuff. But I really like how he turned out, all things considering. Alright, so here is another Pokemon. This one is Eevee, and this is kind of like a blob form of it, and it's really cute. I wish I would have put something to make its ears stay up instead of kind of flopping around like they do. But I think it turned out really good. All the details is all felt, and this was also my first attempt at doing the zigzag stitch to blend two colors together, and as you can tell, I didn't do the best. I mean, there's like holes in the corners and stuff, but the seam up here matched up really well. I was very happy with that. But I still think he turned out really good, and I actually tacked his tail up like this, so whenever he sits, his tail is up and super cute. This next one, this is an owlbear that I made for my husband. He was looking at all of So de Soleil's free patterns, and when he saw this one, he was like, that's the one. That is the one that I want. And it was quite a challenge because there is a lot of details in the eyes, these little tips down here on the wings and the little claws in the feet, and then just sewing this, which I did not try to do a zigzag stitch on. It actually turned out really good, especially from a distance. You can't really tell, but when you get up close you can kind of see where I stitched and everything. But I was happy with him, and my husband absolutely loves him. When I took him off of his desk to bring him in here so I could record this video, he was like, you better bring him back. Like, he's coming back, right? And I was like, yes, of course. He's yours. I was like, I just need him for a video. This next one is actually the one I've been wearing around my neck. So this is Dratini. This is a Pokemon. I'm gonna take it out right now. So this was, I believe, one of the last few I made before I got the embroidery machine, so the eyes are still felt and everything. And figuring out the stitches for to get his face shape was actually a lot easier than I expected it to be. And he has a armature wire inside of him, so he is bendable. That is how he's able to kind of stay around my neck. I'm able to move the wire in there to where he will stay, and he's really cute. I love his little like head fins or whatever it is you call these things. This next one is Gigi, and this is from Kiki's Delivery Service, and I think it's super cute. I love how well he sits. Like, he sits up really good. I love the curve of the tail and the little bow tie, and his eyes are felt and stitched on and stuff. And I believe this is the last plush that I made before I got my embroidery machine. So the ones after this will all have embroidered eyes and noses and faces and stuff. So this next one is No Face. This is from the Studio Ghibli movie Spirited Away. I think it's super cute. I love Ghostface in general, and I love having the big mouth open where he just starts eating everything, and I think it's super cute. There is also a pattern that does not have this part, and you can make it look like he is knitting, like when he's on the train and stuff. So I really think this one is super cute, and I have my embroidery machine for this one, so all these little details are all embroidered, which turned out really nice. This next one is this cute little llamas. This is the first time I was working with a thicker fabric. I'm not exactly sure what kind it's called. All of these are made out of Minky, which I believe are like a 3mm length, I think is like the basic Minky size. Could be wrong, but this one has the swirls in it, which is kind of hard to see, but you can tell, so it's a little bit thicker. The eyes are embroidered, which they turned out really good. I love the little like heart in its eyes. I did mess up this ear. It's not in properly because both ears are supposed to look like that, and this one I didn't quite get the fold as right, but I still think he's super cute. He's got a cute little tail. So this next one I've done, this is another blob Pokemon, but this one is Espeon. So it's an evolution of this one. And it turned out really nice. I did the border here. It did kind of mess up a little bit there, but not too bad. The only thing I wish I would have done is, I don't know why I didn't put any stuffing in the tail. I should have added a little bit, and so that way I could tack it up like I did the Eevee one. But for some reason I didn't do that. I don't really know why. But I think it turned out really good. I do have patterns for all the other evolutions. I've made Umbreon, but it actually currently resides in my husband's car. And because of that, it's been sitting in the sun, so it's kind of faded, so it doesn't look as good. So I'm gonna have to remake that one as well. But I eventually want to get all of the evolutions done. This next one is one of the more complicated ones I've done. So this is a Plague Doctor, and this is by Sode Sonet, or Colinite. Like I said, I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I'm not sure. If I'm not, I'm sorry. And this one is actually a paid pattern. So this one has the embroidery of all the different flowers. I love all the colors and everything it turned out, and this was actually my first time like sewing clothes as well. So he's got this cute little hood which does snap on and off, and then has this cute little outfit with the little buttons. It's kind of harder to see because it is all black and stuff, but I was very, very happy with this. I want to make another one because there is a few different like facial, or I guess mask designs. Like there's one where it looks like there's like cracks around the eyes, which I really like. So I'm eventually going to make another one of these. And I have some crackly fabric that I thought would look really good for the outfit for that one. So it'll have cracks on the eyes and then cracks in the outfit. And I don't know what color I'll end up using the hood on, but I think it would look really good. So maybe I'll get to working on that at some point soon this year. Alright, one of the next ones is one of the smallest plushies that I've made. So this is Calcifer, and this is from a Studio Ghibli movie, from Howl's Moving Castle, and he's the talking fire demon, and I think he's super cute. The pattern actually calls for the fire to be on the back as well, but I was kind of running out of, I believe it's the yellow or the orange, one of the two, and so I just ended up making the back solid because I was like, no one's really gonna see the back anyways. And this one, he sits on my desk right beside my monitor, so he gets to watch me while I game. And I also have this little Yeti plushie. This was another one that my husband requested. This one I believe is also a paid pattern, and I think he is really cute. I love his little face. I love his two little teeth sticking out, and of course his little toe beans and stuff. So he's besides the owlbear, these two are my husband's. And when, like I said with the owlbear, when I took them from his desk, he was like, you have to bring them back, you cannot keep them. And I was like, I know, they're yours. Alright, last but certainly not least is this guy. So this is the cat bus, and this is from the Studio Ghibli movie, My Neighbor Totoro, and I love how he turned out. He was quite a struggle. He has a lot of feet and getting the stripes, his tail wasn't that bad, but getting the stripe here to match up right was a little bit of a challenge. I ended up embroidering this whole side twice, and instead of flipping it to get this side, I remember I struggled something on his face as well. So he was a little bit of a challenge, but I think he turned out really well. I love that big old smile that he has, and I just think he is super cute. Alright, I believe that is all of my plushes for the plush tour. If I have missed any, I'll try to show them in like the next video or something. I I've made quite a few, and I've tried to kind of keep it simple and kind of keep it short so it's not too long of a video. But if you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button. If you like what I am doing, please subscribe. I am trying to put out crafty videos about once a week, mainly about my cross stitching, but I might show me working on some plushies in the future if you would like to see that. Just let me know in the comments below. I hope you have a good day. Thanks. Bye.